Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at ChicnScratch. This is the box we're making today. This is week 4 of the 12 weeks of Halloween. Isn't it so cute? So here's a couple Halloween Kit Kats. Okay, so I made this project back in June, and I'll be honest and say the box was really cute, but the designer series paper cutting the panels confused some people. So this time we're just making the box right out of the designer series paper, and as you can see, it works just fine. Okay, so that measures 8.5 by 11, and then you're going to need a piece of Whisper White that's 4 by 4 and a piece of Basic Gray, and let me get that measurement. Okay, so the Basic Gray measures 2 3/8 by 2.5. Before we actually make the box, what I want to do is stamp the image because it needs to dry before I cut it out. I'm using the single stamp Halloween Treat. It's awesome. I'm using 3 colors of markers. Now, if you want your image to be perfect, you could just stamp it in Basic Black or Basic Gray or Tangerine Tango. Or you could stamp it in Tangerine Tango and then rock and roll it in the Basic Black or the Basic Gray. I just decided to take my markers and just brush some ink across the top of it and just be free, like whatever. Doesn't matter if the gray goes over top of the tangerine. Do whatever you prefer. So I'm just going to start with the Tangerine Tango and just brush some of that on like the pumpkins. Then I'm going to take the Basic Gray and brush that on. Whoops, let me turn this over. Let's go a little bit further. And then I'm going to take some of the Basic Black and brush that on. And come down here and just add a little Basic Black to the bottom. I want to breathe on it. We call it huffing to freshen up that ink. And then stamp. Now, if you'll notice, I didn't get the lines of the stamp. Here's the image. And that's because I cut them out. If you look at this, there are no lines. And that's because I cut them out. So I purposely did not color them. Okay? And you'll see how good that's going to look in a couple minutes. But we're going to set it aside and let it dry. And then we're going to work on our box. I'm going to take the Simply Scored scoring tool. I'm going to place it in the portrait side first. And that's the 8.5 inch side. Let me make sure I've got it in the camera view. And I'm going to score it at, there is something under here. Yes, a rhinestone. I knew that something was there. So I'm going to score it at 3 1/4 and 4 1/4. And I'm going to turn it on the landscape side, which is the 11 inch side. And I'm going to score it at 3, 4, 7, and 8. And it's made exactly like the one I made in June. It's just I'm using designer series paper instead of regular cardstock that then you have to add designer series paper to it. In fact, I actually made this first in Basic Gray, and then I was like, oh, I really want to make it easier for everyone. So no cutting out panels. What I'm doing now is folding it on the score lines just to make that a little bit easier to see them. So the next part is if you'll place this in the landscape position, and both patterns are really busy so it's hard to see, but we have this taller panel here and the shorter panel down here. So this taller panel, both of these, are the ones that you want to take a ruler and your stylus and you want to score from this point to this point. So see, there's a score line here and there's a score line there. We're going to draw a line, not a line actually, because we're going to score it. So I'm just making sure. It's hard to see in my camera view without sticking my head in the camera. Okay, plus somebody just said that Eric Hosmer's on our street. That's a total lane swerve. Anyway, somebody's having a party and I'm like, I want to run up there. Okay, so same thing on both sides. And to recap that, it's on the taller side. So down here on the shorter, don't touch those. So where we just scored that, I'm going to fold it over just like that so you can see. And now what I'm going to do is take my scissors and we're going to cut that piece off. I do have a template, and it will be posted with the instruction sheet. And now over here, oh goodness gracious, I can't see. I want to make sure I'm not cutting something I'm not supposed to be cutting. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the template. Here's my basic gray one. So if you'll notice, that's just like that. So then we want to come down here and we're going to cut all the way across, and then we're going to come from the bottom, and then we have one section right here that we need to cut. So we're going to do the same thing over here, cut all the way across, and then we're going to cut all the way up. So see, you can save these pieces for something else later. And then trim right here. So what this is going to do, you're going to put adhesive right there. That's going to attach to that inside right there. To that inside, sorry. And then you're going to bring that over and bring that over. See, that's so much simpler than cutting the panels for the Designer Series paper. Okay, so let's assemble it. And I don't know if I have my snail. Yes, there it is. I don't have my fast fuse over here, but I do have my snail. So I'm going to place snail on those two tabs. And then I want you to see, I want my snail to stop about right there on these panels. And I really would use fast fuse or tear and tape instead of snail. In fact, while I'm doing this, head over to my website, leave me a comment. I'm going to give away this actual project, okay? So head over there. Instead of a kit this time, I had someone tell me the other day they didn't have any of the supplies to assemble the kit. So I'm like, well, okay. I'll send a project every now and then again. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this over and stop talking because I'm attaching it in the wrong spot. Okay, maybe if I turn it upside down, that will make it a little bit easier. Yep. Okay, there's that one. And there's that one. See? Perfect. It's done. Except we have to decorate it. So we've got our image here. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to start by just cutting straight across, which that wasn't very straight. I am freehanding this, so if that concerns you or you're not good at it, you can just place this right on your trimmer if you want to. You don't have to freehand cut it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe to even it up, I might trim a little bit more up here. And then I'm going to take the Project Life corner punch. Uh-oh. Oh dear. There we go. Isn't that cute? Ah, I love it. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing to the basic gray. Okay, we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. Just turn it over. And you can either pop this one up here or you can also add it with dimensionals. I did not pop it up. So that's going to go right there. Uh-oh, is that crooked? And then add this. And then we're going to do our little cellophane bag. Okay, so because I freehand cut this in the white, the basic gray looks a little bit bigger, so that means I probably cut off a little bit more of this one than I did that one. Yeah, I don't know. I did, because I can tell. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It still looks good. We have these gusseted cellophane bags in our regular annual catalog. I'm taking 2 of the Halloween Kit Kats, which I love these, by the way. And I'm allergic to dairy. I'm not supposed to have chocolate. But if I ever decide to have chocolate, this is definitely one of my most favorite. Okay. Halloween night. Halloween night baker's twine. And all I'm going to do is just use that to tie this closed. Did I get it? As you'll notice, I stopped talking. That way I don't only have to tie it once. Okay. Trim the tails, or shorten that up a little bit and then trim them. And then we have one final step. We're going to take the paper piercer and I'm going to add a little rhinestone to each of the spiders. Sometimes you need a little bling. I think it's cute there. I kind of got that a little too tight, but it still fits in there. I don't think it looks as cute. I'll fix it before I send it to someone. Okay, so here's the original. Here's the one we just made. Have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.